Hello and welcome back to the Guitar in a Year Beginner to Intermediate. I'm your instructor Korey Hicks and we are on week number 46. This week we're going to talk about seventh chords. We're going to go over 12 shapes for each, a major 7, dominant 7th, minor 7, and minor 7 flat 5. We're going to do them on the A string and the low E string. This is one of the very last things that we're going to be learning in this course before we start getting to the revamped practice session. We're also going to be doing a few tutorials in the next couple of days, so be on the outlook for that. All of that extra content is going to be over on my Patreon. You can go to the description below if you haven't signed up over there. So let's get started today. We're going to start off with the major 7th chord. I'm playing this at the 3rd fret as a C major 7. The diagram is also going to be available over on Patreon for you to download. We have to think about these chords as a interval content, meaning I'm playing the C note, which is the root, then I'm going to play the G note, which is my perfect 5th with the ring finger, the middle finger is playing the B note, which is my major 7th, the pinky is going to play the major 3rd, which is going to be E, so I have C, G, B, and E. When thinking about these chords, I want you to think about them as intervals, such as 1, 5, 7, 3. We're going to do this instead of thinking about it as the notes right away. If I play my F major 7, I'm still getting 1, 5, 7, 3. This should make sense at this point after everything we've done in the course. So every single one of these voicings is going to be 12 total chords. We're going to cycle for these. C major 7, F major 7, B flat major 7, E flat major 7, A flat major 7, D flat major 7, F sharp major 7, B major 7, E major 7, A major 7, D major 7, and a G major 7. So that's going to be 12 total major 7s on this string set. So now, because a major 7th chord can be a 1 chord or it can be a 4 chord, we're going to have two different things that we could go with here. If the C major 7 was the 1 chord in the key of C, I'd have to play a C major scale in that location. And this is going to give me our pattern 5 of the C major scale. If I wanted this as the 4 chord in the key of G, I would play pattern 1 of the key of G. Next, we're going to move this to the low E string. This is going to be based off of an E minor chord, actually. I'm just playing our normal E minor bar chord. Then I'm taking my index finger and putting it on the note C. This is going to give me root, major 7th, 3rd, perfect 5th, C, B, E, and my G is on the B string. Now, these are not going to be in order. The guitar doesn't usually play things 1, 3, 5, 7. We'll talk about some of that more in the intermediate course when we get deep into theory. We're going to do the same thing with this voicing and the scales that are associated with it. So if we play a C major scale here, it'll be a pattern 7. If this is the 4 chord in the key of G, I'm going to get pattern 3. Now we're going to start moving these to the other types of chords. If I memorize this as an interval set, 1, 5, 7, and 3, I just find the 7 and I lower it by 1 fret. Now it becomes a C dominant 7th. Same thing is going to be true over here. C major 7, I take that major 7 and I lower it a half step. Now I get this. C major 7 becomes C dominant 7th. Let's take a look at our chord possibilities inside the scales. If this is C7, that means that's the 5 chord in the key of F, so I need an F major scale in this location. I would play pattern 2. The C7 over here, this would be inside of course, F major. That would be pattern 4. Let's move on to our minor 7ths. So I had a major 7th, 1, 5, 7, 3. I lowered the 7 to become 1, 5, flat 7, 3. Now I'm just going to lower that 3rd. Now I have 1, 5, flat 7, flat 3. Same thing over here. My pinky is on that major 3rd. That goes down by a half step. Becomes C minor 7. Let's take a look at the 3 possibilities for the scales now. So C minor 7 is going to be the 2 chord in the key of B flat. So I'm going to have pattern 6 in the key of B flat. C minor is going to be the 3 chord in the key of A flat, so I'm going to have pattern 7 of the key of A flat. And C minor is going to be the 6th chord in the key of E flat major, so I'm going to have pattern 3 of E flat. Let's take a look at this chord over here, C minor 7. Now if I play this as a 2 chord, it's going to be inside of pattern 1 of B flat major. Now if this was the 3 chord in the key of A flat, I could play it as pattern 2, but pattern 3 would also work. And lastly, if I take this chord and put it in the key of E flat, that would be squarely inside of pattern 6 here. But we could also think of it as pattern 5. There's a little bit of overlap there, which is totally fine. Okay? Now we have one last chord to do. This is the half diminished or minor 7 flat 5. So we have a major 7, 1, 5, 7, 3. Then we have a dominant 7th, 1, 5, flat 7, 3. Then we had a minor 7, which is 1, 5, flat 7, flat 3. Minor 7 flat 5, we take the 5th, which is G, lower it by a half step, and now we have a minor 7 flat 5, also known as half diminished. We take this chord, C minor 7, and we do the exact same thing. The 5th is on top, that goes down by a half step. This chord is not very easy to play for a lot of people. You might also notice the E flat minor triad in there. I do often choose a different voicing besides this one when I'm doing a C minor 7 flat 5 in this location. Now, those are the 7 chords in a key, so if I want this to be a key of D flat major, I'm just going to play a D flat major in this location. And that's going to give me my pattern 4. And then for this guy, this is going to be the 7th pattern of the key of D flat, which would start right on C itself. Now there's a little overlap from pattern 6, so you can think of it as that way as well. Remember, our scales are going to be learned all over the neck, and so you're encompassing the entire range of the neck. After a while, we're really not going to be thinking of which pattern we're playing in. We're just playing in a location on the neck. So these are going to give you quite a few different chords. So we learned 12 major 7th chords, then we learned 12 dominant 7th chords, and now we're at 24. And then we learned 12 minor 7 chords, now we're at 36, and then we learned 12 minor 7 flat 5 chords, now we're at 48. We did this on the low E string as well, and then we got 96 chords. These are all your first shapes that you're going to want to use for any tunes that use a 7th chord. Next week, we're going to start taking a look at the final practice regimen, the stuff that we're going to be practicing every single day in preparation for our final exam, which is going to be 2 weeks long. And that's going to be on weeks 51 and 52. We'll do a review session on week 50. All right, well, a shorter lesson for today, but an awful lot to practice. Grab that PDF over on Patreon, like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you next week for week 47, where we start putting everything we've learned together into a full practice regimen. Take care. I'll see you then. Peace.